They got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause they got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back, tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something, that's why I ain't.
What it do, fam? What it do? You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole. My homie Ray Jeezy's out. But let's knock up. But before we get into the topic of discussion, hey, make sure you check out our website, theurbansportscene.com. Again, that's theurbansportscene.com. Also, you can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to our Urban Sports and YouTube channel as well. Just hit that red subscribe button and also like this video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. And also like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, man. My man Will T would normally say this. I'm going to say it for him. Let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Sports Journeys, NFL, and Washington Commanders insider Lake Lewis Jr. will join me to talk about Terry McLaurin possibly holding out. I see my guy in the chat and queue right now. Let me go ahead and have him in. Hey, he's a legend in the game. I feel like I'm blessed right now. You know, I got one of them ones. I call him one of them ones. Mr. Lake Lewis, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. What's up with you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Trying to stay busy, man. Trying to stay busy.
Right, man, that's the only way to do it, man.
You know, hey, before I talk about this, I wanted to highlight you got a radio show now, man. You full circle everything, man. Can you just talk about your radio show and what you got going on?
Man, just the radio shows on Radio 1 in the DC, Baltimore area. You can listen to it on 95.9 FM or have like an HD channel as well. Or you can listen to it on the AM channel 1450. But yeah, it's on Tuesdays. It's a continuation of my normal podcast. But they reached out and said they were a fan of the pod and wanted to know if I'd be interested in putting it on the radio. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. And I'm having a good time with it. It feels good to get back into literary radio because that's where I came from at the beginning.
Yeah. It's good to have you on there. Because I'm glad your voice is out there, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not just like the pod, like people, they know you. So like, it's not like, you out there. It's like, they know who you are. But I'm glad that you, in terms of the local base, like there's more of a reach out for the local base. I love it. Yeah,
man. At the end of the day, our faces like ours, we sometimes don't get those opportunities.
Facts.
When we get opportunities, we got to embrace them, jump on them. And still do our part to bring up, some other folks along with us. So, yeah, man, I got to get you on the show, like come into the studio.
Yeah, I've seen Donna and Candy on. I was like, okay, I love it. I just love that. Like, I just love what you're doing. I like your platform for it. I do. I love that you're including them too as well. Like, especially I'm a shout out Donna because I feel like Donna's been one of the, she's one of the legends in the game. I told her this when I was younger. She was one of the first people I saw in terms of doing this locally, covering this team. And I've seen her, on Channel 9 at the time when I was a kid. And just to see her still doing it now, I always tell folks, like, do you know who that is? Like, she's been doing this for a minute. I'm glad that you even got her out doing it.
That's family, like, literally. Yeah. She, a lot of people, don't know the story, but like Donna used to work with my mother.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Donna's known me since I was like 6-7 years old.
That's dope.
And when my mom passed, Donna's that's auntie, man.
Yeah.
She's been there for me. So and I look up to her because she's been in this business for a long time.
Nice.
And you wouldn't even know it. You know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't even know it.
Yep, still doing her thing. So yeah, man, it's our time now. It's our time to and I don't mind saying this, but there's been a lot of cats in this town who've tried to keep me away from things.
Yes.
Keep a lot of us from things.
Yes.
Them days is over. I mean, it's over, so we coming and just get used to seeing it. Cause trust me, this ain't even the big one, brother.
Oh, I know it ain't. I just like the way, I've told you this. It's like, I like the way you move. You know what I mean? And I think that's and there's a reason why
Working,
I'm gonna
man.
say this, and I'm like, not because you're on the show, I would tell anybody this. There's a reason why so many like Commanders fans fool with you. You know what I mean? Because of that, like the way you move, it's because it's not like you don't have like an elitist personality. And I think you like, and to be honest with you, just because the circles you in and where you walk, you could, but you don't. Like you relate to everybody. So I feel like, and it doesn't matter, and this is the most important thing. It doesn't matter where you come from, you relate to everybody. And I think that's something that's very important.
No, I appreciate that, man. My father used to tell me a long time ago, and I've kept this saying. My father had all these sayings growing up, and I used to get tired of hearing them. Like, man, but now those sayings are always making sense to me. Now. And one of the things they used to always tell me was, keep your head down and keep pushing and grinding, and always keep your head down, because when you ascend from your hard work and you're down, what you're going to see is everybody who tried to keep you down looking up at you.
Yeah, hey, you're right. There you go.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. You got love it. You got love in the chat, Lake, man. My man Mike said Lake be sporting them nice suits too, Wole. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I appreciate
talk about your game. They talk about your the wardrobe game. Okay.
And I'm trying, that's for sure.
Okay. Appreciate you too, Mike, man. Lake and Wole, my favorite Commanders guys on YouTube. Blessing, brother. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. All right. So, Lake, all right, I'm getting to the topic, man. Obviously, folks, like the social media's been a little up in the air because Scary Terry wasn't at OTAs. It looks like he's pretty much holding out for a new deal. Like that's and folks kind of had that in mind anyway. What's your take on like what's going on this matter? What's your take on it?
I think it's going to get taken care of real soon.
Okay.
I don't any hidden secret that the team wants to take care of Terry. You know, and Terry feels like he should be taken care of, and it'll get done. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I just think that you know, because there hasn't been any negative storylines with this team in 2 years since Josh Harris's ownership, this thing you can sink your teeth into right now. You know, as far as anything that could be construed as negative, not negative. It's an OTA. It's not training. You know, it's not the preseason. It's an OTA, which technically guys have to go to.
True.
Most do nowadays because football's become year round. But it is his prerogative to not have to be there. You don't want to get hurt in an OTA.
Of course not. Of course not.
So that's the key thing. He knows he needs to be available for these guys when it counts. And I think, you know, having a deal under his belt, under the team's belt, would make everybody feel better. So I think it's going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. But time training camp comes in, it's going to be similar to last year with Sam Cosmi.
Yeah.
Day of training camp, they announced they gave him this big, massive contract. So he's going to get that money, but it's going to happen a little bit later because there's still a little bit more work to do with the roster.
Yeah, I think that to your point, I don't think that it's like a huge deal. Cause I think they're going to make it's going to happen. And, you know, Bryce said pay the man. Like I think that's going to happen. Like you said, they don't pay him. But it's just normal business to me. I wouldn't expect him to come in the last year of his deal to OTAs until he gets paid. Like you just said, barring if he gets hurt, then it's like okay. He tried to do it for the team, and now that screws up Terry. Now, in terms of his free agency, he's impacted by it. You know what I mean? So it's just smart business. Like, especially, you know, you're coming into you're probably one of your better years because of Jayden Daniels as your quarterback. You can only look at it like, all right, man, I have an opportunity to put up even bigger numbers. So, and this team does need him. Like, I mean, obviously, like you know, he's one of the leaders on this team because how he leads by example. So he's essential. You know what I mean? But like you said, though, obviously, like, there's something you have to pull out as a storyline because his team is so used to being drama, having so much drama, and nowadays we don't have that type of drama.
Nah, and I don't think this is anything drama related. This happens a lot, especially in football. You know, and I saw a story about a week ago about there's a lineman, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say Cleveland, Cleveland or Cincinnati. Well, anyway, he missed like a $2.5 million bonus because of he was ineligible because he missed 2 snaps. And those 2 snaps were spread out over a couple of seasons, not one season. So you telling me that they weren't aware of them 2 snaps that
Of
were?
Of course.
Yeah. So now you see why guys do what they do. Now
Yeah.
you see why guys hold out. Yeah, I don't even want to use the word hold out because people are gonna say Terry's holding out.
Yeah.
But people use their leverage to be safe and smart. And I mean, I would expect Adam Peters or Dan Quinn. They probably already aware of what Terry's doing. I don't think there's any negativity or anything like that. So yeah, man, he's just being smart, being a smart businessman right now.
Facts. What do you say leverage? Who do you feel has the most leverage in this matter? Is it like the organization or Terry McLaurin?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm probably going to have to back the organization.
Okay.
Just from a standpoint because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
And since they've come in, they've had all the success.
Okay.
And Terry was here when it wasn't a lot of success.
Okay.
And he's a player. I mean, let's call it like it is. I mean, quarterback, he's a big part of everything for them. But Washington hasn't had that type of player that's in demand where they can hold out and get away with it and all those things.
Yeah.
And I think in Terry's case, everyone knows that he's a great guy.
Yeah.
You know, a malcontent by any means. You know, us Washington wants to be. But I think the organization has the upper hand right now.
Yeah, it's close because for me, I would kind of lean to Terry, and only because of this. And this is where I would say Terry is because I'm a believer. You got this young quarterback who's doing spectacular things, and I always my belief is you do whatever it takes to make sure that quarterback this guy's comfortable next season. Yes. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like for Jayden Daniels' overall progression, you know what I mean? You want to make sure he still has all his dudes out there so he can perform at the highest level. It's like, for instance, like with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, like just say like year 2, he didn't have a Tyreek Hill. Now you're putting him in a disadvantage. You know what I mean? Like I would just say like for like it just slightly. Cause I agree with everything you stated. Like basically, like Terry's and not Terry, but the team's been a loser since his tenure here. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden with the new regime, they can come in and say like, to your point, like, hey, you weren't winning until we got here, right? So I understand. I totally get it. But it always falls to 5, right? So it's like, I got to make sure 5 ain't got no handicap. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. But you know what I mean? That's the only thing I would say. That would give Terry a little bit.
You could go even further and say, like, if number 5 wasn't here, Terry would have all the leverage.
Oh, he would have all the leverage, though. That's the point. That's a good point. Yeah.
But not, I mean, I just think that
good point.
5 can make a lot of people look good.
Yeah, he can.
I'm not saying they're going to make them look like Terry. 5 made Terry look like something we had never seen.
That's true because he found. Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
That are you can you'd ask that question, but I don't think there's any kind of like rift between anyone or any like this is just business right now.
Yeah, it's normal practice though. Like that's how it's just normal practice. I remember I kind of had like this question like when they got Debo, and I was like, I said, okay, well Terry's probably gonna hold. He's probably not gonna go to camp until he gets his contract, and not because of Debo or anything, but like they're both on 1-year deals. Debo's different because Debo has to prove himself, while Terry is looking at a situation like, oh, I'm the number 1. I gotta make sure I get paid before I'm on my way out. Because and Paul, I think you had a question like, how old is Terry? I think Terry's 30. I believe Terry's like 30 years old. So he's 30. So this is probably going to be the biggest contract he gets. So you got to get it while you can. And because we've seen in this league, as soon as you get a drop off in play, you out of there. Like once you hit this part of time, when this part of the time, your time, you get out of here.
Yeah, and then on top of that, Jamar Chase just got broke off. You know, like when you see these other receivers, and now for Terry it's different because for me right now he's the number 3 receiver in the league. Behind Justin and behind Jamar Chase. Just even saying that, you're going to have to pay now because those guys got broke off. And Terry's, although I don't think he's as good as Justin or Jamar.
Oh, not at all. I'm not going to do that to him.
Yeah, because I do think he's the 3rd best receiver in the league. Yeah. But just the fact that he's in the top 5 means he's going to get paid, and those 2 guys are setting the bar on what you're going to get paid.
No, I'm with you. So, what would be your ideal contract for Terry?
I mean, if you look at their contracts and they're in the high 30s,
Yeah.
Mistaken. I would probably put Terry, lower 30s to mid 30s. Like, I mean, it's probably going to have to be a $32 million deal, something like that. I mean,
It's got to be 30. Yeah.
it's got to be. I mean, the thing that was working for Terry is the numbers don't lie. He was putting up numbers with God knows who was throwing him the football. It was you or me were throwing the ball to him.
Facts.
He was putting numbers up. And then last year with an elite talent at quarterback, you saw the impact that he made. There was just a whole nother level he jumped to.
Facts.
So now, again, they understand that, like you said, in order to help number 5, you got to give him all that arsenal, all his weapons, and he has to have his main one. That's his main weapon right there.
Yeah. Like I said, he did. Terry did it with scrubs. Just like what Lake was talking about. I'm gonna go with a question. This is a non-Terry question, but Mike has a question for you, Lake. He said, Lake, since you are on the field, is it true that Jayden bulked up with your own eyes?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
He did. He also wearing some smaller stuff too,
Yeah, so he can show the guns, right?
But he definitely been in the gym for sure, and that's the sign of a great player. Like, he's not resting on anything he did last year. It's a whole new year. He knew what he needed to get better at and some of his weaknesses. And his weaknesses was, can he sustain some of these hits? So yeah, he's definitely gotten bigger. But I hope it doesn't. Remember Lamar got bigger, and then Lamar was like, I gotta lose this.
Yeah, because speed, it hurt speed a little bit.
So I just think with Jayden, it's a subtle difference. But yeah, you can see it in the arms that he got bigger.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think sometimes, folks talk about bulking up. I think whatever fits your game, your style of play. You know what I mean? Like, we use basketball, like Allen Iverson, everybody said they wanted him to get bigger. He was like, nah, it would ruin this game. So he stayed the same size. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so
down on people.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So you go on foot, like Lamar's a good example. Lamar did bulk up, and then he said, no, I gotta drop some of this weight because I'm not in my tip top speed. So then you saw this year. You saw what happened this year.
Yeah.
You saw what happened this year.
To me, it was the MVP, but that's a whole nother story.
A whole nother story. I thought it was MVP too. That's a whole other story. Telly got a question. He says, are we paying for what Terry has already done or what he will do in the future?
That's a great question right there.
Yeah.
I think it's all a little bit of both. When people get to these type of contracts.
I agree.
And again, like you have to use the people at his position. So with Jamar Chase, was it because of what he did for 4 years, or was it because what he can do? With Joe Burrow and T. Higgins, and same thing with T. Higgins. Matter of fact, was it based off what he did or what you think he can do in the future? I think it's both. I mean, you know what they've done, and you anticipate them doing that, if not more, going forward. So I think that they feel like Terry still has some really great years of football left in him, maybe better years. And all you got to do is go back to last year. To me, that was his best year. Maybe not in every statistical category, but as far as impact on the game,
by far
his best year.
It was by far his best year. Like touchdowns, impactful touchdowns, big plays. He has, and not to say that Terry's had big plays in his career with Washington, but you got so many highlights. He has so many highlights this year in winning games that it's ridiculous. Like even with
playoffs,
took
one to the house. The
Lions
took one to the house. Eagles took one to the house. Those were all playoffs. So he stepped up when it mattered most.
Yeah, even the play against the Cowboys at Northwest, like that was an amazing play. What did you say?
They should have tied that one.
Should have tied that one, exactly. But he the Monday night against the Bengals. Like there's so many. To your point, this was like his best season. Like to me, and it wasn't like, and we've seen him before with limited targets or whatnot, but he just took advantage of all his targets and really made big plays. And Jayden made life easier too. And you got a guy who's so accurate, a guy who can extend plays. And I like how, and then I know it's not talking about, it's supposed to be about Terry, but how Jayden, like his maturation process throughout the season, like, and he got better and he trusted his arm a little bit more. And that made Terry even a better player because Jayden started to trust his arms and trust his eyes a little bit more. And he got used to like coverages and whatnot. And then that made Terry better.
Yeah, I mean, you could go to the Eagles game and watch over-the-shoulder catch.
Yep.
Catch the game in Baltimore, the end zone. He had two of them.
Two of them, yep.
again, you just saw Terry play his best football last year, and there's no coincidence. Offensive coordinator, better coaching, better culture, but more importantly, a much better quarterback that could get him the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Deluxe said, what did Deluxe say? Deluxe, what's up, Deluxe? Terry said he was going to work on running through tackles. He did. We saw the results.
Yeah, he did, because remember, he used to get caught or he would get well, he I don't know if maybe that's why he want that more money now.
Because you put that work in.
Kicked in some of them bonuses that he got tasted at. Like, you know what? I'm like, I gotta go ahead and get this contract now. He's deserving of whatever they're gonna give him.
I agree. I think that what he had to deal with, in terms of quarterback play, he deserves the blessings of Jayden Daniels for years to come.
He was the devil throwing him the ball. I'm like, man, bro, you just didn't know how good Terry could be. Like,
yeah.
I remember last year before the season started, I was like, is he a number one? And people are like, what are you talking about? He's always been a number one. And I'm like, no, not a number one on a bad team, a number one on a good team. Could he be a number one, a legit number one? And my thing was, I thought he was capable of it, but he needed to prove that he could dominate games. Because let's face it, there's been some times when Terry would be held to one catch, two catches, and he didn't have a stamp on the game. But last year, I think he had like maybe 1 or 2 games where he only had one catch.
Yeah.
But he always followed it up with something big. And that, to me, I think some of that was a play call, and maybe Cliff didn't get him the ball enough in certain situations. But I think as the season went on, they realized that him and Jayden were deadly, and they were getting him the ball. He didn't get a lot in the NFC Championship game, but when he did get the ball, he took one to the house.
Yeah, and also I feel like it's not a knock on Jayden. When you're a rookie, you're trying to survey the landscape of like the league and how coverage is. Come on, college is different from the league, and especially if you don't see everything and you're just good at running. If you don't see it, he's going to run, which I do like about Jayden. If he doesn't see it, he's going to run. He's not going to force the pass just because that's my number one. If even the dude is open, he can't see it on time, then he's gone, and that's cool with that. But I felt like, and that's like I said earlier, as the season went on, you saw Jayden trust his eyes, which made Terry a better football player. Like you saw the confidence in Jayden just grow even more. And it's hard to say, like he made so many spectacular plays even in the beginning of the season, but as a passer, you saw his confidence go up even more. Like there were games where, it was 1-2, let it rip, and not like a 5 short pass. I'm talking about like a 15-yard pass. Boom, let it on the slant. Like he trusted his arm and he trusted players like Terry and even Noah Brown when he got on the squad.
Absolutely. And again, you were right, man. Like he didn't force feed it. You know, he took what was there. There were some times where, like when it was critical moments, he was like, you know what, I'm going to 17. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's what he was doing. Like I said, that Ravens game was a prime example.
Exactly. That's a good point.
Just two guys just getting it. And so, and I think he realizes the team needs him. He knows that. Yeah. But he also realizes he needs this team too.
That's true. That's true.
Go both ways. So they'll be fine.
I agree. I totally agree with you. Alexa, the question is, what did he work on this offseason? He always picks something as a focus. What did Terry work on this offseason? What do you think he worked on this offseason?
I think he worked on his hands more.
I think so. He's been more of a hands guy. That makes sense.
Yeah, because he's always been like one of the best, probably the best receiver as far as a body catcher.
Facts.
Catching the ball off his pads.
So true.
Strong hands, strong arms. But later in the season, you start to see him use his hands more.
That's true too.
Getting the ball in positions where if he catches, he can just run, as opposed to catch it secure, then look up. Now he's trusting his hands. So I think probably, more jugs machines, more catching tennis balls, catching little rubber balls, just more like hand-eye coordination stuff. You can always get better with that.
True. But Telly said, no better player for Lane to learn behind other than Terry. He's a scary Terry prototype. I agree. I agree with that.
Prototype of Debo, actually.
You think so?
Yeah, that's Junior. like
he is tough though. I like the way he runs. He runs tough.
Yeah, but he's a guy. He's a Swiss Army knife type. You can play slot. You can play him on the outside of X. You can do a lot of things with him. They're going to be running bubble screens with him, reverses with him. They're all kind of one and the same. I mean,
Yeah.
Debo too. Debo's the superior runner, but I think Lane is right there with Debo in that category. So it's going to be nice, man, to see that trio operate on the field at the same time.
Yeah, JD. Al Capone said JD was learning the playbook. Now he will be ridiculous. I think so.
I mean, he knew the play,
it's going to be even better though. It's going to defense. It's going to be coverages for real. Not even it's going to be coverages that he gets to learn even more.
Yes, I think he knew the playbook. He knew the playbook by the time the season started. I mean, that's how he was with the virtual gear and all that stuff, helping get him ready. But I think just a year of knowing weaknesses and tendencies of defenses.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
More importantly, having more time to sit back and survey it because your offensive line's better.
Good point. Very good point.
Those are all things that are going to make, him be able, as opposed to, I think it was 2.4 seconds he had before he made a decision last year. It was always, that was the average time it took for him to run or throw. That number might get up to 3 this year, and that's a big difference. And that's dangerous for that man to be able to look over things before he throws it.
I'm gonna tell you, if he gets Jalen Hurts type of time in the pocket, it's going to be over. It's over. Yeah, it's going to be over. I'm serious. There ain't no defense that's going to be able to guard that man. Yeah. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
It could be. I mean, this offense has the potential to be lethal if everything the way it's supposed to. Mm-hmm. Again, he's going to be a year better. I think Krosky Merritt, Jacory, I think in the backfield gives them another weapon, more of a home run threat. And Brian, I'm thinking pepper you up a little bit, and then this kid can come in and break one on you. So it's going to be a lot of footballs they're going to have to pass around in this offense.
I feel you. I was going to talk about the Merritt kid, but I'll do that on a different show with you. I want to wait to training camp.
Okay.
Because I'm still not a believer. I believe that he's got a lot of breakaway speed, but being a 7th rounder and automatically being an impact player it's a little bit hard for me to kind of grab my hand around. We're gonna tackle that training. I'm gonna talk to you when training camp starts with that.
They devalue running backs now where it's almost you've got to come from an elite program in order to really be seen as a running back.
That's true.
And I think for him, having gone Alabama State to New Mexico into, but having to sit out that year at Arizona this year, to just playing in the senior bowl. I mean, I'm sorry, East West bowl.
East West, yeah, it's like basically.
So for that was the only time people could see what he could do. He was the MVP. But I'm telling you, when I saw him up close at practice, bro, he
fast,
not little, and he's not.
Like, he's fast though? Is he fast? He real fast?
Yeah, he's fast. He's fast. He's
how fast?
He's shifty. That's the word.
Okay, shifty's good though.
Footwork, he cuts like
all right.
He got a little dance to him.
Okay.
Know? And I don't mean like timid dance. I mean like
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he can shake you up, but he can also run through you. And I just think in this offense, a guy like that would be more valuable than just a straight sledgehammer.
I definitely think a guy like that would be valuable. I gotta see it. I gotta see it when he's about to get. I need to see it in preseason. Like that, I think I have a good indication of.
That's fair. But I think all these draft picks, all 5 of them, are going to be on the field.
You think that the kid from UCLA is going to be on the field for real? Oh, playing what?
Toronto linebacker.
You play linebacker?
He's not little. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay, look, you there? You see it? I don't see it. That's what I'm asking you.
He's actually got some length to him, but he's an athlete.
Okay.
When I say he's fast at the position, he's dumb fast.
Okay.
So he's kind of like a he's going to be kind of like a Cooper DeJean.
Okay.
Not a safe course, but I'm just.
Not corner. Okay,
Cooper DeJean before he was entrenched there.
Yeah,
that guy around, man, because he's an athlete. He can do so many.
Cooper DeJean is like a real athlete. Yeah, he's an athlete.
That was Saquon, throwing a little alley-oop, football, basketball. So he's an athlete.
No, he's a hooper too.
That's Madrano. Madrano is. I would venture to tell you, I'm not blowing smoke here, bro.
Yeah,
He might be one of their top 5 athletes on their team. Just sheer athletic ability.
He's athletic.
He's athletic.
I know that. Okay, all right. I'll take. I mean, he's gonna have to they still like Jordan McGee used to they still like Jordan McGee.
Nice like that. Yeah, but see, but Madrano's a guy that you could bring in and cover some tight ends.
Okay, so he has that kind of versatility.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to start, but guy is going to get some. He's going to get some run. I mean, he's going to get some burn for sure. Believe it.
I believe you. I believe you. What are your thoughts on the running back room? Like Alexander says, what are your thoughts on the running back room?
I mean, they got a good running back room, man. They really do. It's solid. You know, they didn't have a guy that could. Like Austin, I thought was their most productive back last year.
When he was healthy, yeah.
When he was.
Yeah, he was.
Chris Rodriguez played well too.
They'd be screwing him, man.
Yeah,
I like Chris Rodriguez, man. They'd be screwing.
Jeremy McNichols, I thought at times could have gotten some more touches. You know,
yeah, he made me mad after the fumble. I'm done with him.
He's a good football player, but with Ja'Cory there now, we call him Bill. You know, with Bill,
Bill. Everybody call him Bill. Yeah, I heard.
Somebody's gonna be the odd man out.
Oh, okay, so they can't just stash in the practice squad. You don't think? Like, dude can't be on.
He ain't on no practice squad. Believe me, bro.
Okay, I already know. I gotta definitely see him in preseason. I gotta see him preseason. I gotta see him in preseason.
This Joker coming in. Somebody's going bye because.
Hey, okay, I'll look like I always take your word to heart because I feel like you keep it up. You keep it a bean with me. When it comes to people you see at camp, some folks be gassing folks up, but you keep it a bean. Telly said, "What adjustment do you think? What adjustment do you think defenses will make towards Jayden this year?"
You know, that's a great one. Another great question from Telly there. I think he's one of those rare talents that is hard to take something from him because he's so good at it. And he's also great at adjusting to what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. I would think that teams are going to try to bring more pressure off the edges against him because the worst thing you can have is him stepping up in the pocket or in the middle of the field to run. That's where all the traffic is. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're going to try to keep him away from getting to the edges because if you think of all the runs that he had last year where he can break containment and get to the outside, it was nothing but clear sailing around those edges. Those defensive ends could run with him. So he'd get 15, 20 yards and step out of bounds. But I think now it's just to keep everything, pushed to the middle of the field. So that's probably what they're going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can do whatever you want to, but they ain't going to be able to stop him.
He's that great of a talent.
Yeah, he's that great of a talent because he can throw the ball too. That's the problem. Because he can throw the ball. If he couldn't throw the ball, that would be like what they can do. But he's so accurate throwing the football inside and outside the pocket. We saw that last year as a rookie. Now with a better offensive line, with understanding defenses more talent around him, getting Deebo Samuels, a guy who can make his life easy in terms of taking the 5-yard pass and taking it to the house. He's gonna be tougher to deal with.
You know who, when people always say he's like Lamar,
they're different.
I could see why people would say that.
They're different though.
But to me, he's a fast Aaron Rodgers.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean,
I see that. I agree with that.
Actually gifted throwing a ball.
Yeah, he is.
And accurate.
He
knows when to throw the right touch on a ball or put some steam on it. Aaron Rodgers was great. I'm not an Aaron Rodgers guy by any means.
I know what you mean, but I know what you're saying though.
But he was, and Aaron was actually pretty good when you look at his career rushing yards. I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, I mean he's not playing at the moment, but last year I looked at a stat. I think he had the most rushing yards, and literally And I'm like, over Lamar and all these folks. I mean, he's played a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't as stiff as what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
Jayden
is in the Lamar category with the running. He's fat,
because he's black. That's why.
That's what it
is. It's because he's black. That's all. But yeah, I like your comparison.
That Lamar is Michael Jordan of basketball. It's
Yeah.
from a standpoint.
Yeah.
Like Lamar's the best athlete in the NFL.
By far. I agree
And
with you. By far.
he's a great athlete playing quarterback.
Yeah.
He can play any position, but
Yeah.
got him playing quarterback.
Yeah.
Jayden is a hell of a quarterback that just happens to be a decent.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give credit to Lamar, and you're a big fan of Lamar too. That like he's
on.
taught himself and studied the game and really worked hard in being a really good quarterback. And I think Lamar, and when I watch him now, he anticipates, he's accurate with the deep ball. Sometimes, obviously, he's a playmaker, so he tries to make plays, and then he may lose the ball in the fumble. But like in terms of if folks take away, I know we're like the Commander show, whatever, but Commander fans sometimes they tend to hate on Lamar. If you just watch Lamar and his passing, it is elite. No. It's elite.
Yeah,
it's elite.
His
so like
is second to none.
Yeah, it's so to your point though, I do think he's like, because he's like Vic to me in this aspect of when you talk about like an athlete, like the best athlete on the field that plays quarterback. It's like I put Lamar like in Vic category, which I mean like an athlete who can pretty much do it all with the football. Like, and it's not just speed. And some people think like when a quarterback's just fast. He's fast, got moves. It's like he's a video game type dude. Lamar's like a video game type dude.
Like in basketball terms, Lamar is LeBron.
Yeah, for real, facts.
Like LeBron can do everything.
Yes, facts.
Don't mean he the GOAT, but he can do everything.
Yes.
And
I got you saying.
You know, but then when you saw Mike, it was like,
I'm a Magic fan, so I don't be caring about Mike.
So. Look, even the other day, Magic, because I posted a video, Magic, on one of my stories.
Yeah.
And one of the comments was like, you know, look at who he was doing this against.
See, I can blast that too.
If y'all don't cut this plumber mess out, because this is what I always say to shut the young folks down who throw this at us. Oh, Jordan was playing against plumbers. And I'm like, and the three guys that are dominating the league right now are
in their early age, they up their age.
I'm talking about like right now in the NBA. Yeah. Luka, Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
Ain't not one of those dudes super athletic.
They not. And you know what's wild? The wild thing about it is I know how I trash. This is how I trash that argument. I trash the argument all the time. I say, like, all right, you look at Magic when he was younger. Look at him. Look, and it's a funny thing. I said, look at Fat Magic when he came back in the league. Fat Magic. He had a triple-double like his first game.
He's still right. Come on.
Like, look at Jordan. Like, Jordan at like damn near 30, 39, 40 was still had like 30-point games. I don't like hearing that stuff. Like, greatness is greatness. Like, you can plot them in any era and they will still get buckets. Like, that's why I don't diminish LeBron or Steph and say like Steph couldn't do it back then or whatever. Like, greatness is greatness. Now, the degree of greatness is different, but greatness is greatness. They would still kind of get out in any era. Like, now, would they be that player in that era is a different story.
Yeah, their games would have had to have been adjusted.
Yeah.
Defense. I mean, we used to play defense back in the day.
Oh, they don't play defense now.
They don't play defense no more.
Yeah.
You watch these playoff games now, and
it's hard to watch.
Game in regulation at 130, 140. Are you?
Well, I don't know what they was doing in that game, but I'll give the NBA credit in the whole playoffs. Like, the referees ain't really been calling like foul. Like they called it like the old.
Letting them hoop a little bit.
Let them hoop. But I don't know what that Knicks Pacer game. I don't know what that was. That was like
guys flopping and carrying, looking for calls, and I'm like, man, just play ball, man. Just play ball. No, listen, nobody's saying that these guys in every sport, they're bigger, faster, stronger today. It's called evolution, man. It's genetics, you know. But your heart isn't any bigger.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
That might be the problem.
Yeah, I know. Me and Lakers went on a basketball tangent. You know, we do this every once. When I talk to Lakers, like talking to the homies. So it's like, so y'all know, like that's how we do. Telly says, so what you saying? Like, he's Aaron Rodgers with Lamar Jackson legs?
Pretty much.
He's an RIP in the field.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I see, man. Like, bro, when you watch him throw a football, it's beautiful, man. Like,
it is though.
It's an effortless thing. You can't knock anything on him. You just can't.
Mm-hmm. Nah, he's a spectacular player.
I've looked at tape and I'm like, okay, what can he do differently here? not too many times. I mean, maybe get his footwork down a little better sometimes to, have his feet set when he throws the ball, because sometimes he puts the balls in the dirt. But that's because the rest was coming.
Yeah. And the only thing he does wrong is sometimes he goes out of bounds and like like a sack. Like he just throw the ball away. That's the only thing. The only thing.
See, again, when you that
that's the problem.
Elite dominant.
That's the problem. I know.
You feel like you can get out of a phone booth any kind of way, man.
I know.
And I think now as he gets wiser, what it's kind of like. Wole, it's kind of like, I know we keep going back to basketball.
Go ahead, bro. Go to it.
Some dudes always coming in dunking.
Yeah.
And by year 5, 6, you see them go for layup.
They chilling.
To do this, and it's 2 points, the same thing, man.
Same thing, bro. Same thing.
Yep.
They come in chilling. Hey, Paul's question late. Will Emma start on the other side of Lattimore?
Yes.
I mean,
and Mikey moves into the slot. Yes.
Or what if they go two wide receiver set? Does Mikey still stay outside, and then does Amos go to the bench?
Most teams don't do two wide receivers.
I know, but say if they do, I've said this argument to it. Yeah, there'll
be packages for that, and I don't think, like, between Mikey and Trey, I don't think there's going to be a situation where Mikey feels like this guy's getting more playing time than me. It's nothing like that. Mikey. Okay. I just think when they drafted Mikey, their intent was to have him inside.
Facts. That's what he does.
Michigan, that's school. You know that.
Yeah. He was great inside.
And people don't realize when Mikey was at Michigan, he was blitzing corner.
Yeah, because he wasn't the best corner in Michigan.
Yeah, right.
Will Johnson was the best corner.
Yeah, but I Will Johnson fell like forever.
Bro, don't get me started. Man. I'm still mad that we didn't get him though. I'm not gonna even. Don't.
that was blasphemous right there.
It was blasphemous.
But I'm saying, so for Mikey though, he's going to be better off for this in the long. But they're going to have all three of them guys are interchangeable. You might see Marshawn in the slot every now.
I think so too, because Marshawn could play slot too. He's done it in the past.
They're all interchangeable, but question, Amos is that guy.
I like him.
He's nice.
I like him a lot.
He got that swag about him.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked him a question about playing with Marshawn and does he see any of his game in Marshawn? Because that's a lot of the comps we get are with him looking like a young Marshawn. And he was like, nah, he was just like, everybody got their own game pretty much. He said, I can learn from him. But I like the answer because it was like, don't compare me to anybody.
I like that. I like that type stuff.
Yeah, I like that. I did. I didn't take offense to it. I was like, okay, you do something. I back it up though.
Yeah, you gotta back it up, but you're supposed to think that though. Like basically, you're supposed to think that Marshawn ain't better than me.
Yeah, but especially as a corner.
As a corner, yeah, you're supposed to think that way. Yeah. I agree with you. Mike said, question, like, do you think Taylor will make the team? Sean Taylor, brother.
He's not on the team right now.
He's not though. He's not. He didn't make it. Yeah.
Abe is I think they're gonna reach back out to him. But right now he's not. So. Yeah. I will probably have to tell you no because he's not on the team right now. If they bring him back, I think he'll be on the practice squad for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
53-man roster. Listen, this team is kind of loaded up a little bit for a run, and you got Percy Butler as safety. You got Will Johnson. I mean Will Harris that you brought in as safety. Owens,
the Owens kid. I like him.
Last year, Andre, they like him. So, and then you got Jeremy Reeves, who's still there as special teams guy. So he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
Keep 5 safeties? Probably not.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. I think Reeves deserves more bump with the actual defense. I think he plays that position pretty well, actually.
Oh, by the way, you got Quan Martin too.
Who I love, Quan Martin. I think Quan Martin's probably the best safety on the squad. Yeah. Jose Garcia says, what are your thoughts on Gallup, Lake?
Good question. And a lot of people have forgotten that roster.
Mm-hmm.
When healthy, Michael Gallup was a problem for people because he's fast. And again, you got a guy that can blow the top off of defense, and he's a bigger guy. He's kind of a possession receiver as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's motivated. So again, you look at the room that they have. like he would be like Olamide Zacchaeus last year, Michael Gallup in a role like that.
That's an
Your
upgrade,
fourth
man.
receiver probably, because I do believe, maybe even your fifth receiver, because don't forget Luke,
Who?
Yeah, man. A lot of people been hating on Luke.
Oh, hey, I said who? All I said was who.
A lot of people, sometimes, listen, man, sometimes it takes guys two years, maybe sometimes 3, to have the light bulb come on. And you could tell, like him and Ben Center, you could tell that it just sometimes it clicked, sometimes it didn't.
Yeah.
But when you got a rookie like Jayden, you expect all rookies to be up to par like that.
Like Mikey too, and Mikey, those two stepped up big. Him and Mikey.
Well, look at Brandon Coleman. They moving him inside because they saw that he played well at tackle.
Yeah, I liked him.
Good enough,
I liked him at left tackle. I just thought injuries kind of hindered his play.
He's guard for sure.
Say what would you say?
He's a guard.
Yeah. I think he could be all pro guard. I liked him at tackle.
That's what they're doing. Like they're not demoting him.
Yeah.
Like look at this, like it's a demotion. Like you can play over there, so they finding something else. He was good. A big time prospect at guard.
Yeah.
Coming out of TCU, more so than a tackle.
True. Very true. Very true.
They look at it like with Connerly, at right tackle, and then over on left tackle, Laramie Tunsil, and then obviously, with all the other linemen that they can bring in, you still have to get Cosme to come back. You have Tyler Biadasz as center, so I think with Coleman, they look at it like they got a young potential, another Pro Bowl guard. So now you could have Cosme and Coleman, Biadasz as center, and then Connerly, and then obviously Laramie Tunsil. So, yeah, but I mean, I know that's wishful thinking because I don't think Cosme's going to be on the field for a while.
I think Cosme can redshirt this year. To be
he might have.
I think I don't want to risk. Like I think he has years to be a top flight guard. Like there's no need to rush him.
Yeah.
Piggyback question. Thoughts on Osborne?
KJ. I mean, they like him. I mean, a reserve role. They might keep 6 receivers this year. Keep 6 receivers. You have to ask yourself: Terry, Debo, Lane,
McCaffrey. Yeah.
So I don't think
Gallup. Gallup
is guaranteed though
because he retired for 1 year, right? So he's got that whole year off. Yeah.
You got 4 locked in, and then you got like Osborne, Gallup, Noah Brown.
That's true.
You still have Mitch Tinsley coming off from practice squad.
What about the kid the undrafted? Do they got an undrafted receiver too that they like?
Yeah, the Brooks. So from South Carolina. So you have him. So yeah, it's gonna be like 5 receivers competing for 2 spots.
Is Crowder still on the roster? I haven't even thought. Is Crowder still on the roster? He's not. Okay. I like Jameson. I thought he played pretty well. Telly has a question for you too. Said, like, would you say the depth at linebacker solely depends on the health of Jordan McGee?
No, not necessarily. I mean, obviously he's going to play a big part into it if he can be fully healthy.
Yeah.
I think Dominique Hampton is a guy that you got to remember too, because they've moved him from safety to linebacker. He was their draft pick last year. Or I'm sorry, 6th round draft pick.
Yeah.
So now they're moving him. They're basically trying to make the athletic room more athletic. I mean, linebacker room more athletic to kind of mirror kind of like Frankie, running over the place. So, but I think what you can get from Medrano, to me, makes the depth of the linebacker room great, because I think Jordan's going to be on the field. So, you can get Hampton and Medrano to add to that room. Yeah, man, that could be something right there.
Paul thinks Medrano could play. Do you think that he could play safety, strong safety?
I absolutely do think he can play strong safety.
He's that type of athlete. Huh?
I told you he looks like Cooper. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah. I absolutely think he can. So I think he's gonna be a hybrid linebacker. He's so athletic, man. He's gonna be like, I mean, obviously a taller version of, but he's gonna be kind of like in that Mark Barron role. You know, the Landon Collins, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the Buffalo safety type dude.
Yeah, not the Washington Landon.
That's not. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The Giants. Oh, the Giants version.
The Giants.
Like that. That's who was like that. He says, "All right, who has gotten more hate this offseason? Luke, Sennett, or B. Rob? I mean, I think it's pretty easy. But go ahead. Who do you think?
I think it's Luke.
You think Luke's got more hate than B. Rob? I think B. Rob's getting a lot of hate, man.
Yeah, I think B. Rob, man. I think B. Rob like pulls that on himself. Sometimes.
He does. I go.
You know, he's always like keep this energy and all.
Yeah, I got you.
Keep the energy.
Huh?
Well, I'm good. You keep the energy. You know, like, and no one's wishing for Brian to fail.
No, I don't know. I like B. Rob.
Successful, but I think your eyes don't lie.
Yeah.
You know, he's a very good NFL running back.
Yes, he is.
But is he a featured NFL running?
That's a different question. Yeah, I got you.
That's all we're, you know.
Yeah.
If he thinks he's a featured back, then he's got to show featured numbers.
Yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, I'm putting that on him. That's not on us. We're putting the question out there. If he doesn't show that he's a featured back in the NFL, that's why they went out and drafted a running back.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree. Paul has a question about Tyler Owens. Paul, he says how is Tyler Owens looking, and could he also play at safety as a starting safety next year?
Yeah, he won't be a starting safety by any means.
Okay.
He definitely is a safety, and he's a ball hawk and a turnover machine. You know, so and he's big. Like I've been saying this, man. That dude look a little like Sean in his pads.
I think I would love him to start. I would love him to get the opportunity to start.
Yeah,
I know he's not.
Harris is entrenched.
Harris is entrenched. See how? All right. See, I don't see this is all right. I want you to answer this question for me. I have to go back to Terry though, but I want you to answer this question for me. See, I think that his contract, because I'm gonna go off of what you tell me about. Because all right, I'm on full disclosure. I'm not the biggest Percy Butler believer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not. But I always go off of what you and Candy tell me, right? Mm-hmm. And I look at Harris's contract, and I'm like, that's not real starting money to me. Like at safety, like his money ain't starting money to me. So I'm like, could you tell me? Because you told me that this team really likes Percy Butler, and it looks like they really do like him. So from my eyes, it's like they really like him. So my mindset is like, because the money that Harris got, and the team really likes Percy Butler, I feel like they're gonna let them compete, and the winner gets that job. That's how I look at it. I don't think it's like I didn't think that it was like giving them. I thought
that's fair. I mean, I originally when you had mentioned Tyler, that's why Tyler.
Yeah, Ty ain't gonna start. I know, I get that. I'm not saying Tyler gonna start,
but could I see Percy being named a starter and be like, oh my God, they're starting Percy?
Yeah,
I could see that because Percy will come up and hit you.
Yeah,
and he's not bad in coverage, man. But see, this is the difference. Yeah. Will Harris excels in coverage. I mean, when I say excels, he's one of the best safeties at coverage, you know, in covering deep balls and breaking on stuff, you know. Percy's probably the more short tackler. Okay. But I can say this. I think Will's better football player than Jeremy Chin.
You think so?
I don't
think so.
Jeremy Chin was a great tackler, but he struggled badly in coverage.
I thought he was good. I liked him against tight ends. Jeremy Chin was really good against tight ends.
Yeah, but you know, your free safety shouldn't have to cover tight ends.
We're gonna see with Harris, man. Because we're gonna see with Harris. Because I feel like they need a playmaking safety, and Harris ain't a dude who gets picks.
But you know what like, there for, right?
Huh?
So I'm gonna tell you a little secret.
Go for it, buddy. Go for it.
Marshawn made that happen.
I could tell that, yeah. Because Saints, it makes sense.
Trust level, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And they played well together. So, you know, when guys like Bobby and Marshawn say you can get this dude right here, and you go get him, then that's the kind of stuff that you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got plans for him. Trust me.
All right, you know, again, I'm gonna take your word.
He's starting.
He's starting. All right, I'm gonna take your word for it. All right, I'm gonna know what I came in when they made that signing. I didn't like it. I ain't gonna lie to you, but you know what? I'm gonna take your word for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take your word for it. All right. So we got to wrap up soon. But say in a situation, is there a situation where if this thing lingers, do you see like Washington considering trading Terry?
No.
Okay. I mean, I've seen some stuff. You be wild. I've been seeing some articles on this stuff, and people like actually throwing it out there, like trade Terry or whatever. And I'm like, huh? What? That's a thing,
bro. Let me just tell you straight up.
Yeah.
If them jokers trying to make it out of park to get home, you that man a contract.
I know. I'm on this.
Nah, real talk, man.
Facts.
Loved here, and rightfully so. You know,
Yeah.
he's been through everything, and you know, finally able to see his joy for a team that was winning. It was just a nice thing to see, man. A guy that's deserving of smiling on the field, man. He came from Ohio State. People got to remember that.
He came from a winner.
National titles in college.
Yeah.
For this train wreck, you know, to be back in a championship mode and atmosphere, you know, it was good for him. So no, they better get him squared away.
No, I totally agree. I've seen some stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is a topic of discussion. And I'm like, nah, this is not. They look, this team is built on good PR right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely has to make the squad. Mike had a question for you. Mike said, I'm trying to look at it. There you go. Mike said, like, how many wins do you predict from the schedule we have? How many wins?
Man, it's crazy because I just did this on my show the other day.
I'm not doing this right now. So go ahead.
You know, but that was after seeing the rookies with the veterans.
Got you.
So I'll have a better idea from OTAs on Wednesday.
Of course you will. Yeah.
When minicamp comes around. But right now I'm saying that this team is capable of being 14-3.
Some Paul had that same thing too. I think Paul said that too. 14-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul said that. Yeah, he said 14.
He 14 to win the division. And I think this division is going to be brutal this year. Cowboys are not dead.
No, they're not dead. They're not dead.
They're going to be tired. And I think the Giants are going to be
I ain't worried about Russell Wilson. I ain't worried about Russell Wilson.
A football team, the Giants. But 7 wins.
That's good for them.
Means you stole a game or two from some. You stole a game.
Yeah, I ain't worried about Russell Wilson. He done. He need to go back. He need to go home with Sierra. He done.
Russell Wilson not finishing the season as their starting quarterback.
Nah, he not. I've watched enough of Russell Wilson.
Big 8.
Yeah, I've seen enough of Russell Wilson over the last couple of years to know where he's at in his football career. I've seen enough. Like, I know where he's at. Question, like, will Quan Martin have a breakout year? He showed progress last year in making plays. He made some boy.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a breakout year.
I'm with you, dog.
Solid seasons. Even
the
rookie campaign, he came on strong at the end.
Yeah.
And then, you know, last year, I thought he played really well. You know, but he's more of a cerebral guy. Like, he's smart out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Not a guy that's going to, you know, pick off a lot of passes and make big plays like that, but he's always around the football and he's always keeping guys in the right position. Obviously, he had the big turnover against
the Lions
in the playoffs.
Yeah, against the Lions, yeah.
But I think he's one of the better young safeties in football, strong safeties.
Yeah, I think he's a dog. I like him. He was screwed by Ron Rivera for playing him at nickel when he was a safety. When he should have been playing safety, which it made no sense. The safety wasn't even better than him. And then eventually they moved him to safety, and he looked good that year. And then he looked good with a better coaching staff. So I think, to your point, Lake, I think he's always been pretty productive. But I think people looked at his early start in his rookie year and like, oh, he ain't good, but he was playing out of position. But he, like you said, he picked it up towards the end of the season, even though he's playing out of position. Then they put him in his position, and you saw a better player. So I think Quan.
He had a pass rush in front of him too.
He'd be way better.
Put all that pressure on the guys in the secondary when they're having to cover the most gifted athletes on any team for 3-4 seconds. You're not going to be able to cover them. That's the bottom.
No, I agree. Hey, Lake, man, this is great. I'm glad you was on, man. Appreciate you as always. Before I go, again, I want you to plug whatever you want to plug your socials, plug your shows. Tell everybody what's going on what's going on with Lake Lewis, man. You always make a big moves, man. Always make a big move.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you can check me out on social media at Lake Lewis Jr. You can check out my show, my podcast /radio show. It's Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can subscribe to that on all the major podcast carriers. You can watch it on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel there on the Lake Lewis Jr. Show channel. And then you can listen to it on WOL 95.9, 1450 AM in DC. And then also, you can check out some of my work. I'm an national NFL writer for heavy.com now.
I see.
NFL analyst for CBS 6 here in Richmond.
Hey, I see you.
For WJLA back home. Yeah.
I see you.
Doing that. Some more stuff.
I know. Hey, man, Lakers doing big things, fam. He doing big things. That's all you need to know. Lakers, he outside. Lake outside. He ain't doing no tequila shots for me no more, but he outside.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, man, that jalapeno cucumber. Woo, woo.
Oh man. Oh, Lake, man. Thanks for being on, Lake. Hey, folks, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Yidig, deuces, we are out.